Our fifth guest speaker is Rebekah Smiles. Rebekah is a senior metallurgist at Northern Star Resources, Kalgoorlie Operations. Rebekah is an established resources industry leader with 14 years experience encompassing production, technical and leadership roles in the field of mineral processing. As a leader, Rebekah thrives on building business success by developing capable, confident and accountable teams who push boundaries and challenge the status quo. Rebekah is an advocate for creating positive, socially sustainable business outcomes in the resources sector and has recently embarked on her most challenging and exciting role yet, that of being a mother. Rebekah is going to present PRIORITISE Your Future Now. Let's go, Rebekah.
Thanks very much, Dean. So my story begins in July 2017 when I was working as a production metallurgist at Northern Star's Kananabel gold mine. Having spent most of my career to date in base metals, I recognised that a change in commodity would help my career. And my husband and I decided that if we were to start a family one day, that we wanted to leave our FIFO life behind for a while and make a change to residential work. Within 6 months, I was promoted to the role of metallurgical superintendent, which was exciting and challenging, and I loved it. Fast forward to September 2019, my husband Craig and I welcomed our daughter Eva to the world. I left my superintendent role on parental leave with no real return to work plan other than that I would take about 6 months off, after which I would go back to my full-time role and Craig would take 6 months parental leave to care for Eva. So that's what we did. I went back to work full-time with a 6-month-old exclusively breastfed co-sleeping baby. And now I know that many women out there have done the same thing and done it harder and earlier, but oh my goodness, I was not ready for that. It was hard. I cried so much. I felt like I wasn't good enough as a mother. I missed my baby so much, even knowing that she couldn't be in any better hands than Craig's. I felt like I wasn't good enough at work. My confidence was low coming back after having the time off, and I felt guilty having my closed door time to pump twice a day, once I even worked out how to make all that work. Then, not long after I went back to work, COVID hit. My husband was at home with a very young baby, isolated from friends and family, not doing the fun stuff like swimming lessons and play dates, and that's really what he signed up for. Well, the resulting roster changes meant that I was away from my family for nearly 12 hours a day, 14 days straight, plus working from home several days per break because, of course, the COVID restrictions also lined up with our budget submission deadlines. In the front of my mind was that Craig's parental leave would be finishing on September 1st, 2020, D-Day, which by this point was only a few months away, and we still had no real plan. Craig had been promoted to Superintendent of Health and Safety just prior to taking parental leave, and I'd committed to supporting him in that role, which was full-time. By this time, I'd been back in the game for a couple of months and was smashing it again and had some confidence back in my capabilities. I didn't really want to just quit. I felt like I'd worked too hard in my career and my life to this point to just stop. I didn't really want to put Eva in daycare full-time either. For me, I really wanted to spend this time with her. I was fine if she was having this time with Craig because he should be able to have this special time with his daughter too. But I couldn't bear to have both of us lose this time with her. It seemed like I needed a change in role, something part-time, flexible and meaningful. And I had no idea how to actually pull this off because there was no clear pathway in the company at this time to do this. I felt unsupported and overwhelmed. At a time when I needed to take action, I was not where I needed to be in my headspace to make it happen. I hadn't slept properly in about a year. My relationship, although strong, was strained with the impact of me working so much and the rest of my time being claimed by our baby. On top of everything, it seemed like there was so much going on at work that I always had priorities other than negotiating my future with Northern Star. I was tired and I was procrastinating on taking action where it mattered most. So at this point, I did something I don't normally do. I asked for help. I reached out to Katie-Jeyn and she coached me through the process leading up to the negotiation. And all that was left was for me to do the work. Do a scope of work with a cost-benefit analysis and draft a formal proposal letter. Easy, right? But I didn't do it. Not at first, anyway. I was busy. I was busy acting in the process manager role, actually, which was awesome. I was busy with my baby, and I was busy with my family. I was busy caught up in the now, and I wasn't doing anything about negotiating my flexible work arrangement. My D-Day, when Craig was going back to work, was fast approaching, and at this rate, I was fast approaching unemployment. So I was so caught up in the now, I wasn't prioritising my future. How many times do we do that? Prioritise everyone except ourselves. Acting in the process manager role was important and exciting, but successfully negotiating this flexible work arrangement was even more important. But it was daunting, as I hadn't done it before. Self-doubt and irrational fears were holding me back. Then, after some tough love coaching from Katie-Jeyn, I did the work. And once I pushed past my fear and prioritised my future self, I'm pretty sure it all took me about an hour and was really easy. It wasn't a big deal at all. I had the courageous conversation and presented a compelling business case and successfully negotiated a change in role that met all of my needs at the time. In fact, my boss and Northern Star were supportive and amazing. I'm now working in a part-time role, which allows me to work strategically and contribute to the regional processing business strategies instead of being tied to the one plant. I'm working towards the process manager role. I work from home as needed, and I even managed to secure a pay increase. If I let self-doubt hold me back for asking for what I wanted, I would have resigned, and I'd be questioning whether I'd done the right thing for myself and my family. The journey for me has been more than I can share in this story. There are courageous conversations that I'm yet to have, and a better version of me that I'm yet to embrace. So bring on year 2. Love your work, Katie-Jeyn. So my career acceleration power tip for you is prioritise your future now. And I want to leave you with this question. What will you prioritise today that your future self will thank you for? Congratulations, let's congratulate her. How do you feel? Amazing. Give her another round of applause. You are amazing, and you are an inspiring speaker and leader. And there's these moments that I have that are more challenging than others with clients, and we had one of those moments together. And that was because your beliefs were not congruent with what you were saying and what you were doing. And you were prioritising everything else but what really mattered, which was negotiating the flexible work arrangement. And I gave you the tough love, and it was as challenging for me as it was for you, but you took it on board. And then you did the work. And you gave Northern Star the time to actually support you to create a win-win arrangement, which is phenomenal. And since then you've had the time with Eva, which is most important. Yeah. And even more than that, you've been having a huge impact in the workplace. And also, you've been changing people's lives by helping them get flexible working arrangements through speaking opportunities, just like you have tonight, and others, and also coaching and mentoring people in the workplace. So you are incredible. Congratulations, and I know that you're going to have a huge impact on this world. So let's give a round of applause.